So, this one's gonna be pre-recorded for some point of time when I need this episode. It might be just, I don't know, 2 months from now. It might be 3 months from now. Might be a little bit more from now. It might never ever be uploaded because the other ones, I've also not really managed, quote unquote, to, upload them earlier, because I guess, I don't know. Yesterday I've uploaded the pre-recorded stuff and it was like from, I don't know. I think it was actually a month or something. Maybe a little bit more. But still, a month. No, it was longer. I don't know. It took me a few days. Yeah. But more after the intro. As always. As always. As always. And you know what? I've forgotten my blankets. But I haven't. Because this is a scripted joke. And this joke was really not funny. But I'm gonna get my blankets. This is what I know. My dear little blankets. I don't know if I even need two of them, but I just always bring two with me because I don't know, I have two of them. So why wouldn't I use them? I guess. I assume. I think. This was just really unnecessary because I actually thought about them, but I wanted to start the episode as quickly as possible because it is pre-recorded, and I found myself having a little bit of time left today. Well, actually quite a few hours left today, and therefore I decided I am gonna record an episode because there is gonna be a point of time when I need it, maybe, and I'm also gonna write the description because the other two episodes yesterday basically have the exact same description, which is, I don't know what I'm talking about there. I could have watched the episode, but it takes a lot of time. It really takes a lot of time, and I'm not quite into watching my own shit. Therefore, I've decided to just write into the description that I actually do not know what is in there. Not really. No, I have somehow a clue, just because of the title and whatsoever. But not completely, not fully, not just really, maybe. But as you not can see. As you're not able, let's take this one. As you are now able to see on the left side of the screen, we are going through another markmanson.com. I think it's .com or it is .net. I think it was actually .net because it was so funny. Yeah, it was .net. Wow, I remembered. Is this even never mind. Never mind. Never ever mind. The thing is, he's the author of The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, if I remember correctly at least, and it is quite a good book, I assume, because it was sold relatively often. The site is also pretty good, I have to say, from a design perspective, it is really good, and as you can see on the left-hand top corner, you're also able to only listen to the audio version of it. So basically me reading it, I don't know if it is just the best idea in terms of actually saving time with, actually not having to read it, because there is already an audio version of it on the website. But the thing is, I'm going to talk about these things, about these paradoxes that he's pointing out in this article, and I'm going to quote unquote review them, Basically it is really like news, it's really reviewing things, it's really those type of stuff, but also in the end it's nah, it is not. But so 12 paradoxes that are true from February the 6th 2013, so it is already 6 years old. Wow, this is quite some time, to be honest. This is really quite some time. And it seems to be a 5-minute read. I really doubt that. I think that I'm not going to be able to read it in 5 minutes, even if I would actually only read it and not only just pause and talk about those things. But I don't think so. I really don't think so. I have a really strange feeling that this wouldn't be the case for me. But yeah, I'm gonna start reading. Some of the most important truths in life are contradictory on the surface. They seem like impossibilities, yet experience proves them to be obvious over and over again. It isn't until you look a bit deeper beneath the surface contradictions that the real grains of wisdom emerge. Below are 20 paradoxes I've come across, which are paradoxically still true. And I've had a look at one of them, and I was like, well, yeah, let's go through that article. It sounds a little bit interesting. It sounds to be something new. Sounds to be something, and it is actually something that I haven't gone through yet. And I'm actually really looking forward to new articles, new stuff, new things that I could go through, new things that I could read, because I see myself often on the jamesclear.com website, and basically on the exact same websites that I'm always on. And there's going to be the day where I've actually finished up with every single article on those websites. It's going to take some time, but until then, I do just really also have to see if I can find other websites where I can get some stuff from, something to talk about, some inspiration, some topics, and maybe even go more into just me only talking without anything to show. But I like to show things. Like, I don't know, I do not have ultimate wisdom or something. Nobody has. Therefore, I'm gonna review some articles. I'm gonna read through them. I'm gonna watch them in the eyes. I'm gonna shake their hands. Gonna play with them some chess. I've actually did that, to be real frank now. I've actually played some chess and was reviewing some articles. It is called self-development chess. It is quite interesting. It really is actually interesting, Maybe the next episode is gonna be one of them, just because I'm having quite some time now that I am hopefully using for something that makes sense. Yeah, until I have to go, until I have to do something, until there is something that I can do. But yeah, never mind. The first paradox: the more you hate a trait in someone else, the more likely you are avoiding it in yourself. Is this a paradox? Because I don't see anything. So Carl Jung believed that characteristics in others that bother us are reflections of the parts of ourselves that we deny. Oh, now I see. Freud referred to it as projection. Most people call it being an asshole. For example, the woman who is insecure about her weight will call everyone else fat. The man who is insecure about his money will criticize others for theirs. Well, I don't know. It's pretty tough to decide whether this is actually the truth. I totally assume that he's just seeing it in people. I'm not gonna doubt that. But I'm just really rather thinking if I've seen it as well, or if I've noticed it as well. Which is also the great thing about those articles and those thoughts of other people, that you can basically see what they are thinking about, what they see, and then also see if you see it in your world, which might be the case or which might also not be the case, because people think different, different people think differently. It is what we do. We all are different, fortunately, because if we would all be the same, it would just be fucking boring, It would really be boring. The second thing is, people who can't trust can't be trusted. People who are chronically insecure in their relationships are more likely to sabotage them. Call it the goodwill hunting syndrome, but one way people protect themselves from getting hurt is by hurting others first. It would at least make sense, On the other hand, I really hope that people are not consciously doing that. If you're doing it just subconsciously, I literally have to say this is a trait of yours. You can work on it. You can somehow reverse that. You can just do something about it if you want to. If you don't want to, I don't give a fuck. It's your life. Unless I'm just having any kind of relationship with you, I assume everything is fine for me. But I really hope that those people kind of see it. Yeah, this is also one of the reasons why those things are good, to just see, to as well see what other people see, because you might not see it about yourself or in yourself or on yourself that you're actually doing that. And there, of course, you have to be honest to yourself, and of course, you have to be like quite, basically honest. I think honest is pretty accurate there to just also see it then, and also think about it. Like, I don't know, maybe it was just really valuable that I pointed it out. Maybe you're just thinking like, okay, am I trustworthy? Do I trust people? But it somehow makes sense, to be honest. It somehow just makes sense. The third one is, the more you try to impress people, the less impressed they will be. Nobody likes a try-hard. I assume so as well, yeah. I assume so as well. The fourth one, the more you fail, the more likely you are to succeed. This is the one that I've seen, and then I decided like, well, yeah, let's go through it. Why not? Why not? So insert inspirational famous person quote here. You've probably heard many of them. Edison tried over 10,000 prototypes before getting the light bulb right. Michael Jordan got cut from his high school team. Success comes from improvement, and improvement comes from failure. There is no shortcut around it. Yeah. The thing is, if you're willing to have a shortcut, if it might be about being successful, if it might be about just earning more money, if it might be about, just having dinner or getting a dinner meeting somehow thing with the person you love, then shortcuts won't work. Shortcuts never work, as really good lyrics say from E-Double, a rapper. I kind of feel like that he's Australian, but I'm really not sure. I don't even think so. But he unfortunately died. But the song is really good because he sings shortcuts never work, because they never work. It's only going to be more work in the end, because you kind of feel like, well, yeah, the shortcuts, they are going to work. They're going to get me to the place that I want to be, or where I want to be. But in the end, it is really like, no, you're still in the exact same place, or you're even in a worse place, because shortcuts don't work. They're just dragging you into negative shit. They're dragging you into it is a downward motion. Like, it's not upward in terms of success and just getting money, more money. It's really like just downward. At least as I've seen it in my life. I don't know. And as I've just heard from a lot of people, a lot of smart people, a lot of successful people, a lot of rich people saying like, well, yeah, shortcuts just don't work. They don't work. They are a scam. Most often. I assume there might be a shortcut. There might be some situations in life where shortcuts are pretty great. Like, yeah, okay, on my PC, having shortcuts, it is great. I'm faster. Really great. The downside of them is if I just press something and something is happening and everything is fucked, well, yeah, everything is fucked. And there is no, just getting back to that. Maybe there is some command set or some, not the Windows set, but you know what I mean. STRG, I think, or is it control? I don't fucking know. The fifth one. The fifth paradox is, the more something scares you, the more you should probably do it. With the exception of genuinely life-threatening or physically harmful activities, our fight or flight response kicks in when we are confronted with past traumas or actualizing the self we dream of being. For instance, speaking to an attractive person, cold calling someone to get a new job, public speaking, starting a business, saying something controversial, being painfully honest with somebody, etc., etc. These are all things that make you scared, and they make you scared because they are things that should be done. And I believe so. Something that I believe so. The funny thing is, I'm just at this point in time, I am attending my internship at a graphic design company in Austria. And I don't like it. The funny thing is, in school, I love graphic design. In school, it is completely different. In school, I really love what I'm doing every day. And in work, it seems to be like literally life-threatening. It seems to be like it's crushing my soul. It seems to be like it's just really drowning me. Just like emotionally, somehow it... I might be overdoing it a little bit, like a little tiny bit. No, the thing is, I really don't feel good when I'm at work. But I also think that it has something to do with myself, with me maybe not standing up and being like, okay, could somebody please help me when I need something where I am stuck? Or I think it is just really a big part of it is just because of myself. I really believe so. And I'm just, well, yeah, I'm somehow looking forward to just trying out if I can change that, and to then see and to maybe validate that point, and basically validating that it is actually my fault, or it is actually my quote unquote mistake, or I'm making some mistakes that are making the whole experience shit. And it is really not about the company or about the people or about graphic design as a topic or as a job. It might be literally about me, but I don't know. And I think there we all have to be honest. Being honest with yourself in general is just something that's incredibly valuable and incredibly important, because if you're not honest to yourself, and if you're just lying about certain things to yourself or lying about yourself or whatever it is, then I don't know. You might feel things you should not feel. You might just assume things that you should not assume, or you might see things that you should not see, or basically see things where there are no things to see. Somehow, if you can relate to that, or if you can just somehow see what I'm just heading towards now. The sixth thing is, the more afraid you are of death, the less you will be able to enjoy life. Or as one of my favorite quotes puts it, life shrinks and expands in proportion to one's courage. They all make sense. Yeah, I don't know how you're feeling about it. Would be interesting, If you're just watching this episode, no matter when it is, whether it's just a year from now, we have 2019 right now. Whether it be 2022, 23, 24, 25, it depends on if this episode is even available. Hit me up on Instagram. All the links should be down in the description. If they're down, then I don't know. It's just really fucked up. Maybe you search for my name, Christopher Walch. Maybe you find something. Maybe you find an email. Just email me and tell me on Saturday the 31st, of August 2019, you said I should hit you up and tell you what I'm thinking about that. Hit me up and tell me that, and I might be surprised. I might be surprised by my past self. Maybe. Who knows? Who really knows? The seventh one. The more you learn, the more you realize how little you know. The old Socrates adage. Is it adage or adage? Every time you gain a greater understanding, it creates even more questions than it answers. Then it answers, not that it answers, but then it answers. My man Socrates dropping some knowledge bombs about the uncertainty of knowledge. He knew what was up. He certainly knew, yeah. He certainly knew. The eighth one. The less you care about others, the less you care about yourself. I'm reading it. Before I'm saying anything, I'm gonna read it. So I know this may be against every perception you've ever heard of a self-serving asshole. But people treat people the way they treat themselves. It may not be apparent on the outside, but people who are cruel to the people around them are cruel to themselves. In such a case, in such a way, if you think about it in such a way, it might be true. It might be true. And these are just really things to think about. And I'm somehow merely just reviewing them. I'm giving them to you so that you might be thinking about them as well, which would be the optimal thing to do. Listen to it, maybe stop and think about it. Is this the truth for myself? Maybe a little bit of self-reflection, maybe to see if other people in your surroundings are actually doing it, because it is very interesting, to quote unquote analyze people and see how they work, what framework they're in, what they believe in, which you can definitely also see from an outside perspective as well sometimes, what they value, which you can also see from an outside perspective sometimes, and other things. It is really, really interesting. Really interesting. And how they use things, maybe, which might be important if you want to have a company, if you want to have an app or something, to just understand human behavior and human consumption behavior. If this is even a term, I don't fucking know, but it seems to be right. To some degree, it just seems to be right. I don't know how you're feeling, but for me, it just seems to be a little bit like, right. Never mind. The ninth one is, the more connected we get, the more isolated we feel. Despite being in more constant communication than ever, research finds an increase in loneliness and depression in the developed world over the past few decades. I think so as well. It is just really interesting phenomenon, or phenomenon, however it is in English, I don't fucking know. But yeah, something that really pops into my mind there is just really the demonization or demonization, I think it's demonization of technology in nowadays world. It is just insane. It just really is insane how many people, and just especially media, but I think media has always been doing that, and other people, older generations have also been doing that, always, or has also always been doing these things. Never mind, fucker. Well, just back in the days, it might have been the TV. Back in the days, it might have been just sweets, chocolate, whatever it was, playing games, shooter games, when they were pretty popular. And now it is just phones and the internet that, people are talking about, and people are talking negatively about, because it is such a negative piece of shit. And yeah, of course, there are negative sides. I'm not saying like there's only positive ones, but I think it is just human behavior, isn't it? And I think there have always been things that have not been that good, and humans have been doing it whatsoever. Like it's really interesting, the demonization of all those great things, of all those great advantages that we have over the past generations. But of course, as I said before, there are disadvantages. There are certain things that maybe should be different, that maybe should be changed up, that maybe should be just not like how they are right now. I don't know. We clearly have to work on things. We clearly have to work on just society, culture, whatever. There's still something to work on. Like, it's really not like we are just perfect at the time. But I don't know. I think we should rather demonize ourselves than just, like technology to some degree. But yeah, let's just go through the 10th one, and that's then gonna be it. And maybe I go through the other 10 in another episode. Maybe in the next one. Maybe I'm gonna record a next one after this one. But I don't know, because the talking part today isn't that well somehow. Or maybe I'm just more talking about some things that I'm kind of thinking about. Because, I don't know, maybe this is doing better for me. Or better to me. Maybe as well. But yeah, the 10th one is, the more you're afraid to fail, the more likely you are to fail. See, self-fulfilling prophecy. I think so. I really think so, because I don't know if you've seen it as well, but if you're really capable of doing something and you're really not thinking about failing there, then you're probably not gonna fail. But if you just feel like, well, I haven't done enough, I haven't learned enough for the test, I haven't worked enough, then I think possibilities are pretty high that there is just somehow like self-sabotaging subconsciously, and there's some self-fulfilling prophecy, that is subconsciously just taking action so that you actually fail, or that is actually going to be a failure or a mistake or just something quote-unquote negative, because, failing is not as negative as just people are assuming, I guess. But yeah, you know what? This is going to be the end of the episode. This is going to be the end of the episode, and this is the wrong screen. I wish you the best health, happiness, and also success. And I also hope that you're going to remind yourself on how you're going to be remembered, because we totally have our legacy in our control. We change and we decide how people are thinking about us when we are dead. Even though, no matter how nice you are, no matter how generous you are, no matter how good you are, there's still going to be someone that is not liking you and even hates you. I think it's just how we are, what it is. I don't know if there's something you can do about it. But I don't think so. I really don't think so. And yeah, also think about your purpose. Maybe you can find your purpose through questions like, Why are you on this planet? What are you trying to change? And what is the thing that bothers you the most and really pisses you on? Maybe you think about that. Maybe you think about that and then see for yourself if there's something about that, and maybe you find your purpose, maybe you find some business ideas, maybe you find some other ideas, or maybe you see something other people have not seen. And then a podcast would be great so that you can share what you have seen but others have not seen. Maybe this is also something that I'm doing here. I don't know. It's going to be a long game. It's going to be a long game, I guess, until it is actually kind of used for something, I assume. And until then, sticking to the process and loving the process and liking the process is very crucial for not giving up, because it took me it can take me 10 years. I do not think so, because I'm doing quite a lot, but I'm trying to constantly progress and improve, but it could be the case. And I think commitment is a good word to keep in mind, I guess. But yeah, thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. Subscribe to the podcast, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you soon, hopefully. I don't know if you're seeing this just relatively early. I don't assume somehow, but yeah, I see you. Thank you.